So, and since we're done discussing the section E, which talks about on how we gather data and what are the tools that we can utilize in order to gather data, now let us proceed to section F, which mainly talks about on how to analyze the result. So we do have two types of techniques that we can use. The first one is the computer-assisted analysis techniques or computer-based techniques. Next is the observation and interpretation, or pwede siya tawag ko naman. So for computer-assisted analysis techniques, it is much more easier to use since it requires less effort and mas less ang pag-consume sa time. Kaya we already have a lot of tools that we can utilize. A good example to that is the Excel. So for example is magtali ka ang data. So the only thing that you will imuhang hinumduman, and you must be careful when you are going to input all the data that you have gathered. So for example is magbutang na ka sa inyong data, itong mga numbers and such. Pag ako man manggut, if ever manggut, mamalik ka o sa isa ka number lang, mamalik na tanan. So inyong pantayan dyan, kung magtali na mo is dapat kung unsang nasa inyong butang sa inyo ay for example sa inyong survey kung unsa jud kung pila ka result na dito mao jud dapat inyo ang mabutang sa inyong pagtali. Next is si observation and interpretation. So si observation and interpretation is the opposite one to the computer assisted analysis technique. So if we got the computer assisted, it is much easier, right? Dahil na generated na siya on mas mas dali siya gamiton. While sa observations and interpretations mag-require siya of more time kay you are the one who will be interpreting all of the data that you have gathered. So I have here an example sa mga task. So as you can see na pie chart. So ang pie chart is accessible na siya dito sa Excel. Pwede mo dito maghimo pie chart. So mauliya mo ang interpretation and observation. So for example is kani 75% and kamero ano na siya sa interpretation and observation dira ano niyo i-explain ang description sa inyong data na na-gather. For example is kani, another one is kani. As you can see, mas nagani siya o kanang pikas-pikas kay na diri naka-consume diri ang ages and kung unsa ni kung sa ages nila. So kung 20 above ba or nana. And for the description, na siya always na conclusion every description na inyo makita. So if ever maghimo mo na siya dapat always na conclusion sa every statement. So for example, as a result, it is evident that the majority of respondents are 20 years old. So, maski pa sa lahingan nyo na data na inyong ibutang, parehas kani. Kaya magbutang di ba tag macro skills? So we do have macro skills here. So first one is the listening skills. So kana na data is ginapakita nila kung di ba namin questions, ginapakita kung ang kaning need jud sa student. So for example is ang pinaka need nila is kanang listening to listening to normal conversation. So mao na siya ang nakita ng pinakataas of percent and mao na ang need sa student na matun-an. And mao ni iyang description and sa end sa description kay dapat naamoy kaning conclusion. And that will be all.